Hey everyone, it's Kirk McLean here, and you're watching Clay's Canucks Commentary.
Good morning, Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks Commentary in the morning, or Clay M Canucks Commentary. It is Saturday morning, December the 6th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. And yes, as always, presented by my primary sponsor, Van City Experts Real Estate. I'm your host, Clay Emo Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take all in one take. Thank you for being here on a night after the Canucks lost 4-1 to the Utah Mammoth. I'll get into the game, break it down, what I like, what I didn't like, one other thing, and leave plenty of time for you as we start off this weekend. Then I got to go do Christmas lights and then get ready for the big 11:30 soccer match between Miami and our Whitecaps. So hello, Gerald. Hello, Fangirl. Hello, Indigo. Hello, Justin. Who else do I see? I see Rosie in the chat. Nice to see you. Who else have I seen? I thought I saw Bobby Ray poking around as well. And then C Edits was here like super early, 5 a.m. So I'm not sure if she made it up for this. Dino and Mena, good morning. Nice to see you guys as well. So hopefully you're all doing well, and hopefully today's show goes well as well. Moderators, do what you need to do to keep this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's Legends, Hall of Fame, and franchise members, thanks for your support. Hey, JK, and no matter where you're watching from, whether my beautiful neighborhood of Steveston and Richmond, in the city, Lower Mainland, province, country, continent, around the world, thank you for being here. You know that I know that you could be doing anything else, watching anyone else, getting ready for work, school, or bed, all three. Not bed, work, or school, or all two, but the fact that you are here, know how much I always appreciate you, know how much I never ever take you for granted. Hey, Justin, so this is how you get involved today. Subscribe to the channel so you get active in the chat section, get notified of my videos. You also turn the notification button on so you don't miss shows like this in the morning. You can like the video, like the fact that we're together, like the fact that there are a couple of things to like about last night, especially Filipino Heritage Night, like the fact that we continue to build an awesome community here on YouTube. You can leave a donation, get the donation train out of the station. You can gift a membership. You can buy your own membership. You can upgrade your membership. You can use your monthly membership message. And if you listen on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. And yes, Gerald, I'm very aware of this. Wonder if any interesting things will happen with the Christmas lights, maybe another Clay falling from the bed kind of video. I sure hope not, because we moved Kayla's bed in her room. So if I fall in this time, I'll be basically bouncing off of her desk and then onto the ground. So I hope that doesn't happen today, but we shall see. All right, so those are all the ways you can get involved. Subscribe, like, all the membership stuff. You can leave a donation and be the first to do so. Let's talk about last night's game. Then I'll talk a bit about Filipino Heritage Night, and then I will do my mid-show sponsor read and certainly leave lots of time for all of you. We'll start off by looking at we have time today to do an actual recap of starting with the Sedge VC, the Clay Edge Goal Visualizer commentary. Hey, there's no visualizer for the first goal, so I can explain it to you. Clayton Keller gets it to Sergachev at the point. He takes a wrister, and it goes off of Elias Pettersson's stick, and then it goes off of Marcus Pettersson's skate past Lankinen. At first, I was blaming Lankinen, but then you can't really blame him. It was a double deflection. It was a double deflection, and you can't blame Elias Pettersson for trying to block the shot. At least, well, some goalies will say, leave it, let me see it, but or let it not get deflected, but it did. And then Marcus Pettersson, obviously not his fault. It bounces off of his skate. Too bad. The Canucks penalty kill. I think they killed off 7 straight before that, and then they did not kill off that one though. Here goes here. Russell is here. Good morning. Gord is here. Awesome. By the way, and Ryan's here. BC Beasley. That's great. By the way, I love that everyone is here, especially some people that I usually don't see in the morning, in night. But I want to give a shout out, especially to Gord. Gord, remember, I didn't get a chance to properly give him the love during the 24-hour live stream. He actually stopped by my place to drop off energy drinks because he takes care of me. He's a good man. All you guys are good people, but he's a good man. And I just that showed a lot of dedication and thoughtfulness, I guess is the better word. So yeah, let's give some love to Gord in the chat for being an awesome human being. So let's go. Second goal. Gerald says, glad you noticed it was off EP40 stick and then EP29 skate. Farrell didn't see the stick. Yeah, he didn't mention it. I was looking at the highlight pack. He didn't mention the stick. But you knew. Even the director knew, the producer, because the cameraman zoomed right in on EPD, for sure. What, wish your wife talked about like that, like deflecting off the stick? Wait, that didn't sound right. Oh, sorry. You mean, dedicated human being in general. Sorry. I'm just kidding. I thought that was pretty funny, actually. If you guys caught that, great. If not, go back to bed. Then we got Schmaltz. This one, an overload of Canucks. You see both defensemen. So remember, Hughes is the left side defenseman. I'm not sure why he's over here. I do know because he just chases people once in a while. So that leaves this, even though that's not the reason why they got scored on, but you can see an overload here. You actually got 4 Canucks for 3 Mammoth players. The puck squirts back. It goes from Peterka. Okay, everything looks... does everything look fine here? Maybe not, because I think Carlson... Maybe he's worried that PD's beat, but I think Carlson's got to stick to Sergachev a little bit. It's easy to say that now. So it goes Peterka. Yeah, so you can see what's happening here. DeBrus got to take this guy. So now we're overloaded 3 Canucks to 2 Mammoth players here. And sure enough, it goes to Sergachev, and no one's on him. DeBrus can't commit because then that's going to leave this guy wide open. So Carlson is late to get to him. Meanwhile, Schmaltz has established inside position on Hughes. Hughes made it back to the net, thank goodness. But then look, he's got this clear aisle way to shoot. And by the time DeBrus closes on him, still I'm not sure what took Carlson so long. Sergachev gets his wrist shot in, and then Schmaltz with bigger guy, of course, very big guy, and inside position on Hughes was able to tip it past Lankinen. So a second Utah goal, which is a second deflection too. All right, I'm not touching that literally or figuratively. Okay, I gotta stop. So 2-0 Utah. Then nice goal by the Canucks. They're basically their fourth line. It starts way in their zone. DPD doesn't get an assist here. Gets it up to Lekkerimäki. Beautiful touch pass. I notice the Swedes are good at this on this team. Pettersson's really good at this. Beautiful touch pass because he knows he's getting checked by former Canuck Nate Schmidt. So a touch pass to Atu Ratu, and boom. Now it's not even a 2-on-1. It's like a 3-on-4. So it's not like we have numbers. But Ratu makes sure he gains the line. Then Baines does a great job of going to the net and at least making Vejmelka think a little bit. And then he established an inside position. Actually, 50. I think Schmidt was worried about Lekkerimäki still. So I think maybe 50 should have stayed on 13. But then Ratu shoots it and Baines with the deflection. So 3 goals. That's his first goal of the season, by the way. 3 goals in this game. 3 deflections now. Hughes failed to take... Yeah, on the second goal, Hughes failed to take Schmaltz's stick. And I get it. Schmaltz is very big. Big man. But yes, good point. Good point. Hughes' defense play is not being good this year. That's why he's not... Despite his decent offense, he's not being mentioned in any Norris talk. All right, the backbreaker. Well, it's still 3 minutes left. Oh, what happened? How did he score already? I didn't even do anything. Let's watch it again. Boy, that's not much of a visualizer. It starts here. What's wrong with the visualizer? They don't have the first goal, and now they start the second goal when we can't see anything. So I'll try and explain this to you. The puck rings around here, and then like this, and then Hronek comes from this right point and pinches. Of course, he gets by him. So now it's a 2-on-1, and then becomes a 3-on-3 basically. So 2-on-1, and Yamamoto, who's here with whoever number 6 is, but he actually does a drop pass to 82, who's Stenlund. And Philip Hronek, remember he pinched, he was stuck here. He's the last man back because Garland skated back to take 56. Yamamoto, Hughes got this guy. So it kind of left the party in the Red Sea. Do you want Hughes to step up? Then I guess you leave that. It's so tough to say. Hronek's hacking and whacking on Stenlund, but Stenlund makes a good play, a strong play to deke Lankinen. Now, I don't know. I'm not blaming Lankinen for this game, but I've seen many people say he hasn't been the best goalie of the two goalies that are playing very often. And I have time for that argument. And I'll give him a pass on the first two goals because they were just grabbing something real quick. Yeah, the first two goals were deflections, and you can at least give the players, a pass when that happens. However, what wasn't good is this goal, because I think somehow you gotta make the save. I'm just looking at something real quick, you guys. You gotta make the save to give your a team a chance, and then basically the game was over once this went in. Now, were there other factors on this play? Yeah, the fact that Hronek pinched, the fact that they give up a 3-on-2, all those things. I get it. I totally get it. But I still think you need your goalie to make a save here. You really do. And he didn't. And then empty netter, no goal visualizer for the empty netter. Wow. So there's only 5 goals, and 2 of them, there's no goal visualizer, although one was the empty netter. Who cares? And then one of them started basically with 1 second left in the play. So there we go. Look at the stats. We had more shots on goal. We better face-offs. They had better special teams. They went 1 for 2. We went 0 for 2. And then they had more hits. They had more block shots. So let's look at the box score real quick. Who cares about them? Okay. A lot of dashes. That's what happens in a 4-1 loss. So Besser, Garland, and DeBrusque were all -2. PD was -3, but believe it or not, I didn't think he had a bad game. Oh, sorry. He had a bad game defensively, but I'm not blaming his effort. Look at ice time. Garland with 22.41, PD with 21.47, so the only guys over 20. Then you had 2 players short of 10. Baines with 9.23, Ratu with 9.01. Shots. PD did have 5 shots. So did DeBrusque, so at least that top line was shooting. And what did Carlson have? Carlson had 1, so 11 shots between that first line. Sherwood had 3, Garland had 3. 3 block shots for PD, so that's impressive. And then another 2 for Sasson. And then 9 hits from Sherwood. 9, back to his last season totals. Pretty impressive. On D, Lankinen. See, that's what I don't like. Only 14 saves on 17 shots. Not great. D, somehow DPD ended up, and Myers ended up a +1 on the night. Not good. So your 2 best players are your worst when it comes to the plus-minus. -3 for Hughes. 30 minutes of ice time, Hughes. DPD gets close to 13, which is an improvement. A lot of shots from D, including Hughes, 4. 2 blocks from Hughes and 2 from Pettersson, and then 3 giveaways. That's not great. And then 2 hits from Filip Hronek. Look at the scores from the rest of the league. Oh, no wonder. That was today. Vegas shuts out the Devils. I think the Devils got booed off of home ice. I'll talk about that in a second. The Jets win for once. They've been struggling since Connor Hellebuyck got hurt. Sharks lose to the Stars. Well, look at this. Maybe 4-1 should be my new score prediction. We lose, and the Ducks win in a shootout. So, not sure if anyone's paying attention to this anymore, but in our division, we are still last, both by points and points percentage now. Yes, we are still only 6 points out of a playoff spot, but, well, I'll talk about that too. And then in the league, we're last in terms of points and points percentage. And then for the wild card, technically we are, 7 points out now with 7 teams to pass. So that's that. Let me quickly go into what I liked, what I didn't like, one other thing. And then I will do Mitchell's response and turn it over to you. What I liked. I thought Linus Karlsson actually played a pretty good game on the first line. Yeah, I didn't like the whole line's coverage on that one goal by Utah, the second goal. But overall, you might remember Karlsson made a really nice move with a few minutes into the game along the boards, held the puck, and that's what Karlsson does well. He holds the puck, and Russell, watching so many LIVESTREAM games, can attest to this. He holds the puck very well, and especially from the face-off dots down. Like, he doesn't panic. He's a bigger body. He's got good hands to go with that bigger body, so he protects pucks well. And I remember he made a couple of really nice moves along the boards and then got it to the middle of the net middle of the crease, where I think Petey had a chance to jam it in. So I thought Carlson looked good on the top line. I thought he was fine. Aside from that, I was happy for. I think the bottom six played well. Especially, it's nice to see Baines score and a rush to the net by him and Ratu and Lekkerimäki. So, and overall, it's funny. Although I can't pick out standouts individually, the Canucks were the better team. Both from the eye test, like they were all in the shots were 32-18. They're all up in the Mammoth's face. And especially in the first couple of periods, and they didn't have any puck luck. And well, I'll get to what Adam Foote said in a second. And the fancy stats bear that out. High danger chances, 5-on-5, 17-9 for the Canucks. 17-9. Expected goals, 3.21 for the Canucks. Expected goals for the Mammoth, only 1.7. So it's kind of reversed, 3.21 to 1.7. And scoring chances, 36-17 for the Canucks. 36-17 at 5-on-5. So that shows that the Canucks were indeed the better team. They controlled play. I wouldn't say they dominated, but they were the better team for sure. But as Justin said, as many people said, and what I really noticed last night is the Canucks lack game breakers. They lack guys that will go to the net, that will make an exciting play, that are being people out of their seat. Like anytime Dylan Guenther, and by the way, he's good. He's tall, he's fast, he's smooth, he's got good hands. Dylan Guenther was really good last night. And of course, he was the one that Arizona picked at the time with the pick that we gave up for in the Garland and Oliver Ekman-Larsson trade. So, yeah, those three things then. I thought Carlson was good. I thought Baines was good. And I thought that, I thought the Canucks overall, despite lack of standouts, overall as a team, they played very well. Certainly well enough to win, and the stats bear that out. Now, what did I not like? Not blaming this entire game on Lankinen, but I think he's got to make that save on that third goal to at least give us a chance. Deflections, yeah, sometimes you make a save, sometimes you don't. So I'm certainly not going to blame him on the first two goals, but overall, you just need him to make the big save when you need to, and you need him to be the better goalie of the two goalies that are playing. -3 sticks out for Petey and Hughes, but I didn't think that Petey had that bad of a game, to be honest. I thought Hughes wasn't great. Even my lovely wife, Gail, who doesn't know most about hockey, but understands what's going on, she finds Hughes not as dynamic this year, even though he still loves making that cutback play on the blue line. Even if you scout it, you still can't stop it, because if you try and cheat that way, then Hughes simply won't cut back and he'll just skate right past you. But, still trying to create. I know he's frustrated. He's talked about that. He tries to do too much. And a -3 does not look good on him. I didn't like the fact that we were missing Vander Kane. Yeah, I think he does bring a lot to the lineup. I really do, in terms of retrieving pucks and just being kind of someone to intimidate and not afraid to go to the net a little bit. So that was too bad that he is suffering from sickness. And those were the things that I didn't like. I actually don't think any player. Yeah, the minuses don't look good on the top line. So maybe I don't like their defensive play. Yeah, that top line with Hughes and Hronek, you think that they would be really good and dominate offensively, but they actually got dominated. So maybe that is my takeaway for what I didn't like is collectively that first unit, D unit, and that first line unit, as a unit, I should say, combined, they were not great. One other thing, so this I'll talk about is interesting. As the game ended, you may have heard it on TV. There are a lot of boos. At least more audible boos than any time I've heard this season. I've been to most of the home games. Has been great, the record for sure. So, but there were certainly some audible boos as people were getting frustrated. Now, when it comes to booing, some people would say that fans can express themselves however they want, and they pay good money, even though they had student rush tickets for $39 last night, but they paid good money to watch this team, and they have the right to boo, cheer, clap, scream, dance, yell, sing, whatever. So the fact that there is some booing, you have the right to do that. Others would say that's not a good look. Like, you should be cheering for the guys no matter what. Others were saying, why are you booing? You should be cheering for the team to fall further in the standings, increase their draft odds. You can basically argue for either which way. But it was kind of weird because I don't boo the team off the ice. And even in good conscience, I wouldn't, because they were the better team. So I could, again, I'm not going to tell anyone how to be a fan, because that's the one thing I hate is the gatekeeping. But I just find it ironic that boo them off the ice if they played bad, or if but it's kind of weird, right? To boo them on a night where they were the better team. Their effort was there, but it was just puck luck, a lack of finish, right, around the net. So that is kind of ironic, right? I would understand. You're never going to boo them off if they win. I get that. Even if they play badly and win, you're not going to boo them off the ice. But if they play badly and lose, that's obviously the combination where one might consider booing. But I just found it weird, not because I'm not a booer, but I was trying to. Obviously, fans were frustrated, and I get that. But intuitively, it didn't make sense to me that fans were booing, because if you want the team to win, I get it. You don't like the result, but anyone could see that they were the better team. And if you don't want them to win, then they did exactly what they did exactly what you want them to do. They played well and they lost. I did not hear the "We Want Gavin" chats. I did not hear the "We Want Gavin" chats. And Justin, yeah, I saw, some people were saying, what the F are you doing? I'll effing do it. But then I heard other people saying, no, it's more like, I'll take it, or it's so hard to say. Yeah, Garley's a good teammate, but I don't worry so much about what Hughes and Petey are saying in the heat of the moment. Okay. Lastly, in the morning shows, I do what I liked, what I didn't like, one other thing, and what they said, because I have a chance to listen to all the post game. Petey was first. It's always usually Hughes or Petey as part of the interview pack. And Petey said that he was asked about the power play. Said, yeah, it's got to be shoot first. Shoot more mentality, maybe not be tentative. And a lot of the talk was about, by the way, you guys, it's going to sound like that I'm jealous, or I want to be a media member. No, you guys, if you've heard me talk before, and I've said this many times on this show, I do not want to be a media member. I respect the media. I really do. And the job that they do. And that's not my aspiration. I love my job. I love what I do. I love that I get to do this and be a fan, not media. And I get, second qualification, I get that they basically can say anything. And then all they're trying to do is get a soundbite and get the player talking. I get it. But there's a couple reporters in particular. How important is it that you score on the power play? How important is it that you get off to a good start? How important is it that you guys know this, and you guys know this is my pet peeve. 99.9% of the time, the answer starts with very important. Very important. So instead of saying how important is it, I would say, talk to me about the power play and why it's struggling, or how it can help you. Talk to me about tell us how a good start can really act as a spark plug to the team. Tell us or talk to me about, or what was your impression of, not how important. The answer is always very important. Okay, thank you. I will get off my soapbox now. So what they said, almost all the reporters talked about, is it good that you have a bounce back game tomorrow? You can kind of flush this one, or at least work on things. And so typical answers there. But Petey talked about the power play and its woes. Then Arshdeep Bains talked about it was nice to get his first goal of the game. That he's got chemistry with some of the Abbotsford guys, including Ratu, Carlson, Sasson. And it was good. It was a good, refreshing interview. He talked about the mindset and the drive and the path of a fourth line player, how he's always got to fight for minutes and just do his job and get and keep working his way up the lineup. And then Adam Foote, he talked about the fact that once again they're the better team, although they didn't show in the scoreboard. I agree with that. He talked about they got to be more aggressive, get some greasy goals, deflections, go to the front of the net, make it harder on the other team. I get that too. And he spent a lot of time I think he's been hearing maybe feedback from his handlers or from the team or whatever that maybe he's too positive in his post game, considering the Canucks are last in the league. But he says he's a positive guy and he's not going to chew his guys out. And what's he going to say? He actually likes the way the team is playing. The result's not there. He doesn't like the result, but he does like the process and he likes the way the team is playing. And I actually believe all those things. It might frustrate some fans, and I'm not giving him a pass or easy way out. The results speak for themselves. But I do believe him when he says that he's trying to be positive and he sees improvement in their game. All right. So there we go. Finally, before I get to Mitchell's sponsor read and then all of your questions, I want to talk about Filipino Heritage Night. You probably saw, let me pull a couple things up actually to show you. You probably saw some of this stuff on my social. So I'll just show you 3 pictures real quick. So on days where I work before the game, Gail drives, and so there's my car there. Gail drives to my parking garage, and then we take one car, but it saves me from going back to Richmond to get her. So I said, my lovely wife Gail is ready for the Canucks Filipino Heritage Night game. So that's, you can't see it, but that's that's the Philippine flag, the blue, white, red, the sun. But on the back, this is a Manny Pacquiao jacket. So Gail's family is connected to Manny Pacquiao in the Philippines, which is pretty cool. Then I said the barong looks good on Canucks Finn. So there's Gail, me, and then Finn. And Finn is wearing a traditional barong, barong. It's like the Filipino equivalent of a tuxedo, to be honest with you. It's like a formal shirt. Only guys wear it. You should wear undershirt underneath just to leave something to the imagination. But more importantly, you do wear it for weddings, for what's called a debut when a Filipino woman turns 18. Funerals too sometimes. So, but mostly weddings and parties is you could wear a barong. And then among the many, so then I saw Erwin. I'm not sure if Erwin Aquino is in the chat today. Got to see him during the game, and he actually pre-bought and then picked up a nice one of the custom jerseys, the Filipino jerseys, and he got his name back on the back, Aquino, and then number 78, which is pretty cool. So I was happy to see Erwin at the game. I'm not sure if I see him in the chat this morning. And then got to see, this is good. So this is Ian, or Nation, Nacian. I'm not sure if he's in the chat, and his brother John, who's won a couple giveaways recently. So they had this awesome flag, Filipino flag, with Quinn Hughes and Brock Besser, and they're wearing that barong that I was telling you about. There's my Pepsi, by the way, right there. You see, but they're wearing barongs. These are those traditional Filipino outfits, shirt that Quinn was wearing. So that Finn was wearing. So pretty cool. These guys got on the screen a couple times, and I was happy to meet up with the brothers. These guys are brothers, by the way, and I get to see them a lot during the game. So this is Ian right here, Nation as I call him, and there is his brother John, which is pretty cool. So I got a chance to meet them, see them during the game. Got a chance to see Erwin. Got a chance to see. I helped get a choir that I'm aware of, Filipino choir. So they got to do. They sang at the party in the plaza, and they sang during the intermission. It was funny. They actually sang 316 here, where I usually do my meetup. So I didn't really do a meetup. I got to see these guys, but really anyone I saw, we were then turned our direction to the choir that was performing right in the Legends locker room. So some Filipino food, some Filipino dancing, some Filipino singing, some Filipino flags for sure. And I thought it was a good night. They honored some Filipino staff members. So I thought it was a tastefully done night for sure. Hopefully they do more of it because there's such a large and strong Filipino community here. And the one thing I was going to tell Gail too, or I told Gail, is Filipino fans, they're good, loyal fans, and Filipino people are loud in general, and not loud in an annoying way, loud in a boisterous, like support whatever we're supporting way, whether it's family or an event or what ministry. So that's why it's too bad the Canucks effort was there. The result wasn't there because the Filipino fans and in attendance there, they're ready to cheer the team on. And it could have got loud last night, but there was really no reason to get loud in the arena. Okay, half an hour. Wow. So let's go mid-show sponsor read, and then I'll get to all of your questions and comments. So start to put them in the chat. Start off by thanking my primary sponsor, and that's, of course, Jason Lim of Van City Experts. Thank you to my channel sponsor, Jason Lim of Van City Experts Real Estate. At Van City Experts, their experience, knowledge, and expertise can serve you well in navigating through the real estate market and will help you to choose the best home or condo in the greater Vancouver area that best suits your and your family's needs. My secondary sponsor, the first one is GassyJackArt.com. Gassy Jack, check him out at GassyJackArt.com, and he does the wonderful artwork that you see in my home studio. Thanks to Mulligan Golf Company, MLGNGolf.com, and check out their golfing apparel and accessories. And thanks to my supporting sponsor, Vessi Footwear. Use the link tinyurl.com/VessiClay. Receive a free pair of socks on your next purchase of Vessi shoes. Thanks to everyone who's purchased Canuck Clay merch. You can do so at canuckclay.threadless.com. Reminders of how you can get involved today. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a donation, gift a membership, buy your own membership, upgrade your membership, use your monthly membership message. And if you're listening on podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. And yes, still looking for the first donation of this stream. Get the donation train out of the station. And finally, my next shows tomorrow morning. I have another Clay M Canucks commentary, and that is at 9 a.m. once again. Last week, Sunday was bigger than Sunday. Sunday was bigger than Saturday, so we'll see what happens this week. And I'll be breaking down the Canucks versus Capitals game, which I'm not going to. And I have to watch the highlights on replay and read all about the game before I come on the stream tomorrow morning. And then I'm going to Hidden Wonders, the magic show in New West tonight with our best friends. So 3 couples. Looking forward to that tonight for sure. All right, let's go. Your questions and comments, my reactions. Nucks need to go 36-17-1 to hit 96. That's a 676. Only 2 teams with a higher points percentage than that. So we need to play like the second best team in the NHL for the rest of the season. Easy peasy. We got to be Colorado, Steven, for the rest of the year. Do we have any update on injury? Yesterday, Foot said that Demko and Hoglander maybe for Buffalo, which is a week from last Thursday. So December 11th is a game that they're circling for possibly Demko and Hoglander. Hedo will be longer than that. Forbert and Bluger will be longer than that. And those are the 5 guys that I think are injured. And then P.O. Joseph and Kane were out with the flu last night. How come there's no Korean night? That came out. I've heard because I'm not sure if the Koreans as a whole are a large part of the Canucks audience. That's all I can say. I'm not Filipino, but I celebrated. I'm half Japanese, half Chinese. I don't like the fact that Canucks couldn't score on the power play. Yeah, they went 0 for 2. It didn't look great. Or the 2-on-1 that they had. That was DeBrusk and Garland, right? And DeBrusk shot wide. That's true. What direction should this team go on this season with the season slipping away? I think I've always said if they get any indication that Hughes isn't going to stay, you trade him for a haul. Yep. And then that signals the start of a rebuild. I think that's what they should do. Canucks fans are, I'm going to put this in a poll question because I would actually be very interested to know this answer. Start a poll. Would you truly be patient enough to sit through a proper rebuild of 3 to 5 years? Because it's one thing to say, oh, they can just turn around in 2 years. No, I think it's going to take a bit more than that. So I'm asking you in the poll, would you truly be able to sit through a proper rebuild of 3 to 5 years? Put your answer in the poll. Yeah, I don't know what you have against Baines. I notice every stream you make a sarcastic remark about him. To each his own. But I'm not sure what you have against him. Asian night is Lunar New Year night. That's true. It's not. Yeah, that's great. That's true. They don't call it Chinese New Year. They call it Lunar New Year. The Canucks are going to make me a patient. Instead of exhibiting patience, the Canucks are going to make you a patient. Your predictions for the next 3 games: 2-1. I think they lose tonight. Justin, Minnesota's been very good, but I think they win against Buffalo and Detroit. I'm going to the Detroit game on Monday. Going to the Buffalo game on Thursday. Not going to tonight's game, as I mentioned. So I think they're going to go 2-1. I really do. He gave me a stick after the game. Oh, so you like him? He gave me a stick after the game in Ontario, California. Nice, nice, nice. Do you live down there? Or, am I saying it right? Hurigo? Or Hurigo? Let me know. Clay, you beat me to it. I was going to ask you about whether or not this fan base would be patient. Well, let's see what they say. 71% of you are saying yes. Allegedly. That's great, Bobby Ray. You think the Canucks are going to win tonight? I hope so. Some people don't even hope so, right? They want them to lose as much as they can. Raised in New West, but live in LA. Beautiful. My kids are, I think, you may have heard me mention, Sean and Jacob are in LA. They keep sending, so they're sending me pictures of their trip to Disneyland, and I'm sending them pictures of me at the Canucks game on Filipino Heritage Night. All right, what else we got, guys? I'm gonna go for about 10 more minutes. Let me know your thoughts. There's 24 of you in here on YouTube, another 50 or so on X. Thank you. Not bad for these morning shows. The morning shows haven't been, breaking the internet by any means, but at least still gonna evaluate by the end of this year if these morning shows are worth doing. They're always worth doing, but for you and for us, but considering time, energy, and setup and blah blah blah, it would help a lot if the Canucks were winning. Am I the only fan so embarrassed that the team is in 32nd place that they probably won't wear any Canucks gear out and about? I don't know. That's a good question for everyone else in there. I still wear Canucks t-shirts when I bowl. I still wear Canucks. Everyone knows everyone at work. Oh, by the way, last night, I ended up seeing about 24 people that I knew because pictures and selfies and not bragging. Usually I get stopped I've told you guys about 8 to 10 times a night, which is, hey, Canuck Clay, or love your videos, or can we take a picture, which is cool. But because it was Filipino Heritage Night, I saw a lot of people from church circles, from work circles. It's really, really cool last night. How's Liquor Mackie doing? He's, when he's in Abbotsford, he's pretty good. When he's up with the Canucks, he's still up and down, but he is learning. He's maybe not making the splash that other first rounders made, but you got to remember, I think he was the 23rd overall pick, right? Or whatever he was. So he's doing okay. They still consider him like one of the most prized young players. Hey, Ian, fun night, but terrible. Exactly. And Ian, I'm not sure if you caught me at the start when I was talking about what I like, what I didn't like, one other thing. I was basically, I'm not sure, Ian, if you booed when you left, and you can do whatever you want. But I kind of talked about how it was ironic for people who did boo because the Canucks actually played well. They controlled the game. They didn't dominate, but they controlled the game, and the fancy stats back that up, and the eye test backs that up. But the result was horrible, right? The result was horrible, and therefore it led to a bad mood in the arena, despite the vibrancy of the Filipino community. So it's kind of weird juxtaposition or weird vibe last night. The Wings have plenty of prospects to help that rebuild go faster. Send us these. All right, let's make it work. Get on the phone, me and you. We'll broker the deal. I think when Demko and Hoglander returns, this team will be better, but ultimately end up in the 28th spot, 28th to 32nd spot. Yeah, even Hoglander's not a needle mover. Demko is, because he's one of the best goaltenders when he's on. But how much are they actually going to move? Best goals saved above expected in October and November the 21st. So they're getting so surprise, this kind of goes with Demko's health. They had the best goals saved above expected. So you can look at it two ways. Like, the goaltenders are doing great. It still means that we're giving up a lot of chances because we had the most goals that saved above expected. So what you're expected to have to save, and then what you actually did save. And then 21st in the league in November. Thank you, Russell. Rocking my jersey at work. Yeah, talking about, are we embarrassed? That's awesome. That is awesome. Where do you work again, Ian? Will you put it in the chat? I can't remember, unless it's not appropriate. Yeah, Abby's doing bad. Here we go, because all their players are up in Vancouver. Are you disappointed in this management team? A lot of people thought things would be better than Benning, yet they only made the playoffs once since firing Benning. Yeah, yes and no. I think they did a really good job of turning around the team after they got here, right? From when they got here in 2021, by 2023, the Canucks were 2023, 2024. The Canucks were a good team in the playoffs, and they had a lot to clean up: salary cap mess, players with bloated contracts, everything. And then the last 2 seasons have been unmitigated disaster. I haven't been on many of the Clay M's. Have there been many of the overseas? Yeah. Byrne comes to these. I see Murray, and maybe I see people that don't identify themselves as overseas. So I can't know for sure unless they comment. But I have seen some, seen other people locally, like BC Beasley, Leah, and others that unpaved that don't come to the night ones all the time, but they're here. Ricardo from X. I'm loving the losing. Tank Nation, give up my season tickets this past year, section 118, row 2. Wow. $20K for a less than mediocre team with zero direction, not listening fans. Wow. You had 118, row 2. Those are sweet seats, Ricardo. Thanks for always chiming in. Appreciate you. Clay showing love. There we go. Overseas. Showing love from Hong Kong, doing my master's here. Nice, Victor. I think the Canucks miss me and wants me to come home. All right, but finish your master's first. That's wonderful. What's your master's in, Victor? Thank you for saying hi. And Victor, are these morning shows better for you with the time change? I presume they are. Is this an ownership issue or is it a management issue? I'm not going to answer that because I know that Canuck staffers watch these streams and I've already been down this road and got in trouble before. So I'll leave that up to you guys to talk about, but I am a little bit more discerning in what I say publicly. Wanted to go to the Canucks game versus Sharks in December. Still so expensive and team is playing bad. Was that you that was asking about it? Oh, no, wait. You want to go to the game in San Jose or the game when they're up here? Are you coming back for Christmas? Here we go. Obviously, no team will personally tank, but is it best for the team's interest to punt on the season and go for a top pick? Not saying they'll be fixed right away, but it could be a step. Peter, they're saying this is the best draft class in a while. Not just McKenna, but there's some other guys that are top 5 material. So if there's a year to do it, it could be this year. Heard Sherwood ice time per game has dropped since his goal scoring has dipped. Is this good or bad? I feel like it's a bad thing because it's diminishing us, showcasing him. Yeah, you want him performing well. I still think he'll get you a good asset, but yeah, intuitively you want him performing well. And is it he's scoring less because he's getting less ice time, or he's getting less ice time because he's scoring less? Both go hand in hand, right? Seeing how they played last night, it feels weird to see the Canucks 31. Or seeing how they played last night, it feels weird to see the Canucks 31st or 32nd in all stat category. Yeah, but I guess that's the point, Gerald. Is we haven't had enough efforts like last night. And Ian, I personally boo every time we lose. We played well, but not enough to win. Equals boo. Totally fair. Totally fair. Hey, Nick. Lots of talks in different podcasts and streams that this could be the darkest time as a Canucks fan because supposedly at no time during the Benning era was their team dead last. That's true. I've never remember the team last in the standings. Hey, Taylor, for 5 minutes. Rebuild for me. No problem. Almost done my semester. 4 more days. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Next few years is stacked. Oh, not just this year. Thank you, Taylor, for that. In van, want to take my family, but so pricey. I am visiting my parents' house for Christmas. Yeah, I would offer to help you out. Here we go, as a CCC friend. But I do. Let me see. How come? Oh, I must be signed out in my Google or something. Because I can't even access my own spreadsheet. That's a bit concerning. Please copy your change. Please. Okay. I was gonna look up something, but I can't find it right now. Yeah, I don't think I have any tickets left for that Sharks game. Sure, it needs more ice time. I think after daylight saving is actually tougher. Almost 2 a.m. Oh, well, and comp side. Well, thank you, Victor. Thank you. Wait, so what time is it in Hong Kong right now? Oh, it's 16 hours, right? You're right. It's coming up on 2. So the night shows are actually better for Hong Kong. Why does this team trade for Kane? Why did this team trade for Kane? Could have resigned Suter if the Kane trade never happened. Yep, that's true. That's true. And hindsight's always 20/20, but yeah, Suter would look good in a Canucks uniform as their 2C right now. I support the rebuild. We can't let Calgary get McKenna. We gotta stop the steal. Yes, I have tickets for the Sharks game. All right, so here you go. If you really want to go to that Sharks game, talk to Gerald. Okay, 70% of you are saying that you are patient enough for a rebuild of 3 to 5 years. So I'll believe that when I see it. But yeah, no, 70% of you in here saying that you would be patient enough. Peter, what are your thoughts on Quinn this season in terms of body language and him trying to do too much? I don't blame him for trying to do too much, but hopefully there's enough other veterans in that room where they can say that he doesn't have to do everything. Body language, I'm okay with. It just shows how competitive he is. He's not like Miller where he's cussing out the rest of his teammates, but could be better for sure. Could be better for sure. Joshua's doing pretty good since being a healthy scratch in Toronto. Okay, good for him. Good for him. And I'll let Hirigo and Gerald, if you can figure that out, maybe Gerald, you can put an answer in the stream. Hirigo's trying to contact you. Who's in net tonight? Wouldn't be surprised if they go Tolopil tonight. And then really, McKenna or Verhoff, is that how you say his name? And Taylor wants both of them. So J-Kid's wondering who you guys would pick. All right, friends, I'm going to wrap up here. So Gerald, and here we go. You got 2 minutes to figure that out, at least if you want to figure it out today. Or I can be the mediator at, just email me at canuckclay@gmail.com. Here we go. canuckclay@gmail.com. And then I can connect you with Gerald because he can tell me how to connect you guys. Just let me know. Let me know. I'm happy to help. I'll support the Canucks in whichever direction they choose, as long as they actually choose a direction. Year-round golf here, though, very fun. I remember seeing you at Savage Creek driving range with your son. Oh, yeah. Next time, say hi for sure. It is Verhoff. Thank you. And then, yes, I am on, Gerald is on my Instagram and my X. And if you really need help, here we go. Email me, canuckclay@gmail.com, and I will connect you guys. You too, Unpave. Have a nice day. Okay, friends, moderators, thank you for keeping this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's the legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Carol Bovelander, legendary Brian Blingy Choi, legendary Swerven Irvin, legendary Tom Hoglander, and legendary Andrew Chang. Thank you for your support, and thanks to the support of Hall of Fame and franchise members as well. Appreciate all of you. To everyone else, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and leave a donation on the way out. Got shout out today, but that's okay. That's okay. Almost like the Canucks that got shout out today. And just like me, good effort, but the results weren't there. Thanks to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, Gassy Jack Art, and Mulligan Golf Company. And thanks to all of you for watching, liking, and subscribing. So tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., same time, same place, recapping Canucks versus the Minnesota Wild. All right. Thanks, everyone. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Whitecaps in about a couple hours. And let's see if they bring home a championship to this city. Gerald likes these morning streams. I like that. As always, friends, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Oh, by the way, leaderboard, no donations. That means Justin wins with 175 points. Gerald and Fangirl tied with 150. And everyone else tied at 75. Now, I can go, yes. For anyone wanting to connect with Gerald, either for Hong Kong WhatsApp group or for tickets, you can find him on my X or Instagram, or email me, canuckclay@gmail.com, and I can connect you. Now for real, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. You know, I forgot to tell you, last week I went to the doctor and he said to me that he said he'd like to talk to me. He said, "How was your weight?" And I said, "You know, it was about 45 minutes, but your chairs are very comfy." That was bad. God bless. And go Canucks, go. Booyah.